I wondered what was wrong with me. My friends all
Fuck the G's, niggas never want shit. Bendo got cut and catch a hit. Smoking stuff, getting raw with the zip. But Mexi and Lottie and shit got it kicked. Got the bull on back on that shit. Moving the Macklin, packing the flip. Lights up, nigga got packed on the strip. Roll loose that, I'm laughing this shit. Keep dissing me and now I'm sick. I'ma sprint through the hill, hit a minute shit. Nigga broke, he never got no drip. If I spot him, it's lit. I'm up and over. Everybody get shot me straight. I'm a sprinter for perk, like they want to tip rate. God every time that I sit. I just hope you forgive me for sinning against me. While I show him how to clock work. I can't wait till I run into block work. Now they niggas died, I know that I'm hurt. Since the winter they made about 5 shirts. I'm on 50 bitch, I'm dumping my shirt. Niggas died in the cab, you went out the worst. This one not a boy, fuck the 41st. I just bought another type so you don't get murked. And my body different when I'm off a perk. I swear I just be ready to flick. Hit a hop and cross him off the list. Can't keep shooting this shit, got it kicked. Stop the cap and go and catch a hit. He got hit in his stomach, thought it was his hip. Every apple just a cook it clipped. He gon' hit me if I see him slip. Better get a gun cause it's that season. Hit the ops, we do it for a reason. Don't go say you wanna see him bleeding. If I follow Spongy, I'ma leave him. Choking on JD, I can't wait to see him. When I shoot his lessons, I'ma teach him. He gon' shoot until he on the street gun. Bitches come to the set, we don't demons. We run it down, or we flag out the whip. Low bro 13 say he flagging the lip. If I don't got the knock, he get beat with a stick like. He try to run, hit that boy with the whip like. Maybe a double O bitch, I'm gonna drip like. Bullets gon' hit him, rearrange your shit like. Don't give a fuck if you bloody, you crip. If you stopping my shit, then you gotta get hit. Bro pop out to come with a 30 and shit. Start shooting from deep like he curry and shit. Sipping on rock vision, blurry and shit. But don't try to front, still study with the grip. 6 shots laid off, 3 niggas got hit like. SMA down every time we spin. We up on the score, we don't kind of attempts like. Kalo, my brother, he taking that risk like. Yo, JB, you taking that trip like. Now it's time to go spin. Fuck outfit, I'ma spin what I'm in. Give a fuck about no face up, they remember it. He got shot out the car, you couldn't see with those tents. He flagged out the VY, he yelling out quick. All they heard was him beating, that nigga got hit. For big money, how tell the bullets is spent like. Robert got shot from slumped in the whip. Lottie got poked up from dead on the strip. Lala got smoked up for dead in the crib. You have got beat with the who goes shit. Caked up, try to run, but the fat nigga trick. Nobody outside, so let's got split. Can't got me busting and tweaking and shit. All out there, yeah, they resting in pitch. God. I don't know the trust in the bro, niggas move real funny. Mix the messy with Dubsky and Dummy. He get shot if he hop like a bunny. That's the bummy, he don't got no money. When I stop at a run and get clipped, oh, black over attack when we taking that chip. Call up Kenta, you know that's the joke, and I split through the force on my up off the head. I know niggas praying, then I slip, they gon' stay on their knees, tell them niggas such dick. I guess Richie, then he getting hit. If he doing bad, niggas ain't doing shit. And the Uda nigga, he a bitch, he keep losing his wins, he just wanna diss. If he moved in his split, keep me go up and then click and hit him in his shit. Got the knock on my head. Niggas be talking their songs will never call a hit. And Breezo a kid. Plus he got shot and he still got rapping where he lives. And the rock got me lit. Smoking on rotted shit, punching out the shit.
All right. What is up, YouTube boxing family? It is your boy, KRAD7435. I'm back at it with another good post-fight live of Mr. Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Dmitry Bivol in last night's action-packed fight at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. And man, oh man, Canelo Alvarez gets his ass whipped once again. And credit to the boxing gods for giving us what we need. So, Canelo got obliterated by Dmitry Bivol. And I mean, if anybody wants to come right in, feel free to do so. I should have did like a fight party on this because I heard that if you do fight parties on big fights, a lot of people do show up to your channel. But then on top of that, that's only made for, let the views and shit. But yeah, man, I should have definitely did like a post fight, and I was just so fucking upset. But I should have also betted on Bivol because I would have, the fucking odds were insane. If you betted at least like I think like $100, you would have gotten like $500-$600. If Bivol won. So I was like, so just wow, man. I honestly I don't really bet up against Canelo because it's like obviously Canelo Alvarez and he gets political protection, but I should have definitely betted on Bivol because honestly, dude, that would have been a lot of fucking money that I would have won. But I'm definitely gonna bet next time. But hey, salute to you, Down Shada. Salute to you. Thank you for coming by. But yeah, man, let's get right to it. I don't really have really any other fights that I want to talk about on the Canelo card, but let's just talk about Canelo and Bivol. So, oh, and also like I just wanted to just basically make a public shout out to all you Canelo Alvarez dick riders. You guys are some stupid motherfuckers, man. The fact that you guys boo your own fighter in the ring, you booed him while he was in the ring when you knew he was fucking losing. That just shows how very, very unloyal Canelo fans are and how much of dick riders they are compared to, Bud Dick Riders or any other boxer that people were never really fans of to begin with. So, yeah, so I just wanted to say F you, to you Canelo Alvarez Dick Riders, and you guys are, very shitty fans. But on top of that, let's talk about Montana Love for like a quick minute. This man gets dropped in the first round, and he looks absolutely garbage for the rest of the fight in a fucking 12 rounder. And I have to say, I'm not sold on Montana Love. I used to like him, but now I am looking at the true mirrors in front of me, and it seems like Montana Love, he's just not that good of a fighter. Like, I mean, yeah, granted, you beat Ivan Baranchik, but Ivan Baranchik, he's not this super badass fighter that people try to prop him up to be. And knowing that you did, stop him and technically retire him, that doesn't really mean anything because Ivan Bar- of like Ivan Baranchik has little to no defense to the point where he gets beat up and he doesn't have any how should I say, like, adjustments made to actually win. So I mean, either way, Montana Love, he did his thing, but I don't see him making it that far at the world title level once once the belts get vacated by Josh Taylor. So I think that's going to be very interesting to see where things will go. But I just think based off of this performance against Gabriel Galaz Valenzuela, he should have stopped this dude in like one round or at least like 2 rounds. But yeah, Love, he got dropped in the second round, and Valenzuela, he got dropped in 1 round. So either way, it was a very, very close fight, surprisingly. It was 114, 112. So that had the mint. He probably won 6 rounds to 4, maybe. But yeah, that's very, very surprising. So he now has the IBF North American super lightweight, secondary belt. So I guess that'll bring him closer to a world title, but I'm not too sure. So yeah, that's very, very surprising. But yeah, Don Cheddar says Tio beats him at the moment. Yeah, I can see it now because I don't see Teofimo, messing around with Montana Love. But I think of Montana, if he comes in very educated in that fight, he could very well give Teofimo a lot of problems. So I don't know. Like, I just think like as far as his style goes, he has a very, very good style. But the problem with him is that he has these defensive lapses where he gets hit and he will put himself in a really, really bad position to get knocked out or get brutally hurt. So I think honestly, like if you put him in there with like a Subriel Matias or anybody that could that can hit, I don't see Montana Love surviving at 140. But nah, either way, like it was just I don't know, like it was just like such a weird fight that Montana goes 12 rounds with a guy that nobody knew. And honestly, like I thought Montana would have stopped them because, after that first knockdown, I was like, all right, like you had something going. But then once I saw him get knocked down, I'm like, nah, dude, like you're not that good anymore. But nah, man, that was a good ass fight, from both guys. That Mexican dude definitely tried to come to win, but I think Montana was Montana was like the more fresher fighter, and he looked like he had more to come in to win. So I don't blame him. He has like a lot of growing to do, but I'd say like put him in there with people that could hit and that can box better than him. I think Montana gets absolutely destroyed. So yeah, that was a good victory. Um, but yeah, let's talk about the main event. And then after that, I'll just get up out of here. But man, Canelo Alvarez versus Dmitry Bivol. What a fucking fight, man. But goddamn, Canelo, you are so goddamn garbage. This man literally did the same thing over and over, thinking Bivol was going to break down to Canelo's pressure. And every punch that Canelo had landed on Bivol, it didn't even look like Bivol was even hurt. Bivol just looked like the same Bivol from round one all the way to round 12. And I guess what I liked out of Bivol was that he had a very composed style to the point where he wasn't afraid of actually exchanging with Canelo, but he didn't have to stay inside the pocket with him. So I mean, Canelo, he was being dirty. He was trying to hit Bivol to the back of his head at some points of the fight, and he was trying to hit him to his arms and shit like that. Trying to find any punch that can frustrate Bivol, and then that way his physicality can be weaker, and then his arms can be lowered down, so that way Canelo he can hit Bivol. But little did Canelo know, Bivol he's not gonna play around with you like that. So he decided to move. He decided to move around the ring more, and that's where Canelo just started losing his rhythm. And I think honestly, that's really like the key notion on how to beat Canelo. You use your jab consistently, and you don't let Canelo be physically aggressive to you. Because if you let Canelo be physically aggressive to you, that's where Canelo's able to tee off on you, and he's able to hurt you. So I personally would say for anybody that is studying Canelo to potentially beat him, you have to use your jab actively on Canelo, but you also have to force him to his back foot because Canelo he cannot box off of his back foot, and if you hurt him enough, he's going to be like, okay, you know what, you can actually get these rounds off of me, but Canelo wants you to get tired, and then when you're tired, Canelo will use his pressure against you to make it easier for him to, you know, apply his punches to the body, and then he's gonna probably work, upstairs, gradually to the point where he could actually try to knock you out. Because, obviously, it's definitely shown that if Canelo cannot beat you to a boxing match, he's gonna fuck you up to the point where he wants to knock you out. And I think that this fight pretty much proved that Canelo Alvarez he cannot beat pure boxers or pure boxer punchers. Okay, people want to say Caleb Plant, like Caleb Plant was like the purest form of pure boxers. But the problem with Caleb Plant is that he gassed out in the later rounds, and he decided to trade with Canelo to the point where Caleb he was fighting to Canelo's advantages, and Caleb has mega disadvantages when he's trading with people inside the pocket. But compared to Bivol, Bivol is a completely different boxer than Caleb. And Bivol, he actually possesses more power than Caleb to the point where he can trade with you, and he has great physical body mass to push Canelo back to the point where Canelo he cannot screw with you on the inside. To which Canelo knew that from round one leading up to the very end of round 12 that he was like, dude, I can't even hurt him. He can't even be pushed back. He can't even be forced to any weak side positioning to where Canelo can tee off on you, because that's how Canelo gets his KOs, where he's able to tee off on you to the point where he's throwing a flurry of punches to the point where he's able to prioritize his skill set to the point where he's able to hurt you, and he has more power being generated off of those punches while he pushes you to the ropes and gets you tired and basically makes you feel mentally unstable. So that's really how Canelo was able to get these quote unquote, TKO stoppages, or quote unquote, knockouts. But I think honestly, Canelo's power doesn't really scale that high, because it's he's basically just like a volume puncher. He's not that much of a one shot knockout artist, because if Canelo had one shot knockout power, he would be blowing dudes out like super duper fast. And I think Canelo, obviously wouldn't really be ducking all the smoke from 147 leading up to now. So it's like Canelo, he's showing why he's not that good based off of how many fighters that he's been trying to cherry pick over the last few fights. And obviously, Caleb Plant, like I wouldn't use Caleb Plant as a cherry pick, but Canelo knew that was the least amount of problems of what he can do as far as trying to win the fight. Wait, hold on. Hey, what's up, Jab J Marie? Salute to you. And hey, what's up, Mr. Shelton? Yeah, like I'll give you like a wrench right now. Like I'm sorry, like I thought I did, but I'll do that right now for you. Yep, sorry about that. All right. I gave you the moderator, so you are now wrenched up. Let me know if you got it. And I'll do the same thing for you, Mr. Don Shada. So you guys all got wrenches, and salute to you guys. But Mr. Shelton said, "Act with the loud pack." Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Like honestly, dude, I was actually thinking Canelo was gonna get like another robbery decision over Bivol, but I was just very surprised that Bivol actually won, and I was proud of that. Honestly, that felt like how should I say? Honestly, like that win felt similar to a I don't even know. Like I'll probably say like a Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. versus Frankie Randall type of fight, because even though Bivol doesn't fight anything like Frankie Randall, but that magnitude of that fight coming in felt like Canelo was like the home court advantage fighter, and Bivol, he just came in as like the massive, dangerous underdog, and he just beat the shit out of Canelo, man. But yeah, but honestly, I was so pissed off of those scorecards, like 115 to 113. I was like, what the fuck are these judges like? Fucking thinking, man. Like there is no way you could say Bivol was losing at least five rounds to Canelo, at least 5 rounds to Canelo, because 115, like basically 115 to 113 would mean that you only had Bivol winning by 2 rounds. So I don't know what the fuck these judges were thinking, and I think honestly they need to be prosecuted, and that's why judging in boxing needs to be marketized to a point where like honestly, there should be massive screening for people that become judges, because it's like having shit like this every single time when a politicized hopeless fighter fights, that just shows how stupid judging is, because of the judges, they can easily corrupt themselves to basically say, oh well, I'm just going to come in with the mindset to say Canelo's going to automatically win. But if Canelo's getting his ass whipped from round 1 to round 12, but let's just say in round 12 he knocked down Bivol, those judges can easily fucking manipulate the scorecards and say, oh well, Canelo won this fight even though Canelo lost, all 12 rounds. Or like, yeah, so pretty much Canelo, he doesn't need to do anything to to basically win a fight. So honestly, dude, like I'm just pissed off, man. I'm just pissed off to the point that Canelo, he gets this political protectionism, and this shit needs to stop, bro. Hey, salute to you, Tim Muzzy. I'm definitely wrenching you up too. There you go. But yeah, thank you for coming by, and thank you for people coming in just to tune in. But nah, man, Canelo, he got his ass whipped, man. He got destroyed. Bivol did his thing. He used his jab really, really well. He had such a great ring IQ coming into that fight, and I like to say Bivol, he just played everything smart to the point where he didn't need to trade with Canelo, because that's what Canelo likes to do. Canelo likes to be that type of guy where he tries to basically get you tired to the point where he could hurt you. And then if he can hurt you, he's going to pressure you more to the late game, to which you don't have any stamina to the point where he could try to knock you out. And I think that's what Canelo was trying to do against Bivol. But Bivol, he has such a good physical mindset coming into a fight where he doesn't let you hit him like that. He's very, very technical with his footwork, and he's just so good to the point of just making you, frustrated. And honestly, Bivol, he just like seriously, I think Bivol is literally one of the best fighters at 175 because just honestly, due to his level of skill set, it pretty much shows that he doesn't need to knock you out to win a fight. If he's teeing off on you and he's utilizing his boxing ability to keep it to the center, and on top of that, he's using his jab, which was super key in this fight, Canelo automatically loses like 9 times out of 10. And I think honestly, if Bivol were to do the same thing to Artur Beterbiev, I think that's what's going to happen in that fight. Where Bivol, he's going to be in full control, and the only way Artur actually wins is that he hurts Bivol to the point where Bivol cannot use his boxing ability correctly, and therefore Bivol, he will start to open up more to get hit, and then Artur like a Beterbiev can possibly knock him out, like with like some, lucky ass punch, but I don't even see that happening. So, I mean, honestly, like Bivol, he's a very, very good ass fighter. That man, be working his ass off, and his hard work definitely paid off because that felt like a fucking like Frankie Randall versus Julio Cesar Chavez senior fight, honestly. And I think Bivol, honestly, like I want to say Bivol definitely listened to, YouTube channels like myself or Tay Jones or anybody out of like the LDBC, because I truly believe Bivol, he wasn't going to just come in and try to sell himself, to the devil to like let Canelo just beat his ass and just basically just end up losing. Like Bivol actually was like, nah, dude, I am the champion at 175, but getting a win over Canelo means that he will be the man at 175, and therefore he puts the whole division on notice to the point where you're the man who beat the quote unquote pound for pound number one. So therefore, now that Bivol had defeated Canelo, to all you mentally retarded Canelo fans, I need to ask you, is Bivol now pound for pound number one now that he defeated Canelo? Because if you guys are going to use pound for pound based off of popularity, Bivol should automatically be pound for pound number one, right? So therefore, Bivol should automatically be the best fighter in the world now that he beat your favorite fucking fighter. So I'm just gonna put that out there for, any Canelo fans that do show up. But while we're doing that, Tim Muzzy said, "What a upset! Last night was great. I like Canelo, but I think he's human just like the rest of us. He swallowed more than he can chew." Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I mean, but the thing is that I never expected Canelo to do super duper great against Bivol. I thought he would have like a good fight where he will cruise to a decision or at least try to get a late round knockout. But obviously that didn't work out because Canelo, he was like so frustrated after round 6, and he was like trying to use some WWE tactics to try to like, basically hurt Bivol to the point where he, obviously just couldn't do anything. And I think honestly that fight pretty much proved that Canelo, he cannot beat pure boxers, and not even pure boxer punchers, because it's like, like if you really think about it, like if Bivol had like one shot knockout power, he would have knocked out Canelo within 6 rounds at least, because Canelo, what he likes to do is that he likes to get you tired and he likes to utilize your advantages to becoming disadvantages. So he wanted Bivol to punch himself out so that way he could utilize that as a motivator for him to go in, try to be dirty, try to throw these crazy ass looping shots that people say, "Oh, Canelo's so good at inside fighting. He's so great at this and so great at that." No, motherfucker, he's not fucking great at it. He's only able to do it because he lets his opponents get so mentally frustrated with him to the point where they are basically like uh they're basically mentally submitting to Canelo's fighting style. So that's what makes Canelo victorious in winning his fights. So I personally think Canelo, he's only good for the competition that you see in front of him, minus Caleb Plant and Dmitry Bivol. But out of Canelo's last 5 fights, pretty much showed that the level of competition got harder and harder to the point where Canelo, he does not look like the same fighter anymore. He doesn't look like your average, like, looking come forward fighter where he's able to hurt his opponents and basically get away with all these crazy ass shots, like, that he ends up landing, like us like landing successfully. So Canelo knew that his cards were going to be flipped up against him, and I think he bit off more than he can chew. And I mean, I give Bivol so much credit to the point where Bivol, he just had so much, dog in him that Canelo, he couldn't even do shit up against him. But nah, man, Bivol, he just beat the shit out of Canelo. That's why I'm gonna basically mark this day as a Cinco, Cinco de Bivol. Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's Cinco de Bivol Mayo. Just like Cinco de Mayweather, it's gonna be Cinco de Bivol Mayo. Like without the Russian and Mexican flag next to it. Tim Muzzy said, "What do you think of Montana Love's performance on co-main event?" I already talked about it, but I'll talk about it once again. I thought Montana Love, he looked like trash, man. Like I didn't like how he was fighting. He was trying to knock out his opponent, which, obviously that's what you do when you have somebody that's not on your level. But on top of that, when you're not being defensively responsible, that's where you end up getting knocked out yourself. And I thought, ever since the knockdown that he had gone through from round two leading up to the end, I thought Montana, he just looked like a very below average fighter, and he just didn't show any separation to me, honestly. Like I thought that Mexican dude actually had some, had some problems for him, but Montana got the job done. And I think honestly, he should definitely learn from this to be a little bit more patient coming in to try to basically land a big shot on somebody to try to get them knocked out. Because it's not always about getting the knockout. Like it's about displaying your boxing ability to be, like a higher level over your, opposing opponents. So I think that Montana Love, he should start focusing on that more rather than trying to get a knockout. Because if you're trying to go for the knockout, you're going to end up getting knocked the fuck out. That's why, like, when you see guys like Gervonta Davis, he doesn't rush he doesn't rush for his knockouts. He let the knockout come to him, and that's where Gervonta, he's able to break you down physically and mentally, because they had such a mental lapse of thinking, okay, Tank, he's such a heavy-handed guy, but on top of that, Tank doesn't even let you, come forward to him. He basically, forces you to come to him, to the to the point where Gervonta, he's able to hurt you with those, very, very deadly shots, to the point where your body just can't handle the pressure. And I think honestly, that's very similar to Canelo in a way, but obviously the difference is that Gervonta, he can box, and Canelo, he can't box. So Gervonta, he has educated pressure, versus from Montana Love. Montana Love, he doesn't have that educated pressure. He uses uneducated pressure, because he throws a lot of like a lot of uneducated punches. But yeah, either way, like I think he's definitely like a very green fighter, and I think he needs to just work on a couple more skill sets before he's ready, for the top 5 or top 10 super lightweight fighters, because I think he's gonna get brutally knocked out. So Tim Muzzy said, I agree. Think they were both scared of each other because of the flash knockdowns. Yeah, that's what I kind of thought so too, because I really thought Montana Love was just that type of dude where he was just like not really, confident in himself after he got knocked down. And, very similar to Chris Colbert. That's just very honestly, that's just very, how should I say? It's very common, to the point where you think you are the baddest, fighter out there, but then once you get dropped by a lesser opposition fighter that you knew you should have dominated and beat the crap out of them, that just shows how much of a, lesser fighter that you are, because you're not able to knock out somebody that shouldn't have been in the ring with you in the first place, and then you just basically get smoked by this guy, or you end up just looking bad because you were really never that good to begin with. So honestly, like I kind of think Montana just needs to go back to the drawing board. He needs to stop talking as if he's like the baddest man in boxing and just work on his skills because, I do think he can become a player at 140, but the way he fought like that from last night, I think Gary Antoine Russell would beat the shit out of him. I think Subriel Matias would put this man on life support. And I think, plenty of guys, Brandon Lee could very well beat him. And I'd say honestly, just just a whole bunch of people. I even think Teofimo could very well beat him now. Mr. Shelton said, K-Rod, are you a member of the LDBC? I know you fuck with us heavy. Just wondering. Um, I'm not a card carrying member. I don't know how to really set that up honestly, but I do support the LDBC a lot because I do like talking with a lot of people that are very educated in boxing. Obviously, not the racist dickheads outside of the opposing groups, but yeah, like I just honestly talking boxing with guys like you, where basically we have like a very good equally level conversation, and there's no real beef up against each other because it's just basically a regular barbershop conversation. So um I would say no, because I don't have any how should I say I guess like the card carrying affiliation to it, but I do support the LDBC. So uh yeah, Mr. Shelton said Regis, and Tim Muzzy said Pet Monster. Yo, Canelo. Honestly, like I don't even know. I don't know. I think honestly, Canelo's just that type of dude where now that he's been exposed for PEDs for quite a while, that just makes it think that what if he actually didn't cheat against Bivol because he knew like if he tried cheating against Bivol, in which I think Canelo was actually juiced up still fighting Bivol, and he still couldn't fuck with Bivol's physical pressure, and Bivol was just beating his ass the entire fight. So I mean honestly, it just felt like a absolute ass whooping, and honestly I just think if you just could very well imagine Bivol having more power against Canelo. Um, I think Canelo would very well get knocked out, and I think Bivol is just a bad style matchup gone wrong because Canelo really thought he could fuck with Bivol, and I honestly didn't think of it like that. Like I thought Bivol, he was going to give Canelo problems, but I never thought Bivol was going to actually get credited by the judges to win the fight. So I found that shit to be very, very surprising. But Bivol did his thing, man. He beat the shit out of Canelo, and Canelo is just that type of dude where he really slept on Bivol because he didn't even do any fucking research on him either. Him and fucking Eddie Reynoso were saying, "Oh, well, we don't have like a game plan going into our fights, but we just know Bivol, he's a good fighter, blah blah blah, and he has these good skills, but we believe we could beat him." And they didn't even come up with any good game plan, you know, leading up to the fight. So I just found that very, very sad, and I found that really mentally retarded to the point where Bivol, he just got his he really got into Canelo's head because leading up to the fight, he was like, dude, who the hell is this guy coming into my division? And I think Bivol, he should have been a lot more disrespectful. He should have said, I'm gonna knock this motherfucker out. Or at least, say I'm gonna disable Canelo's, abilities and just handicap the living shit out of him. So I think Bivol, he just kept it quiet because he knew that using, any form of trash talking would try to make Canelo feel confident to be like, oh well, you're you talking shit about me, man. I'm gonna knock you out and do this and do that. That would have given Canelo more motivation to try to be very dirty coming into the fight, and he'll have more ultra level confidence to the point where he could have the ability to knock out Bivol. But I don't think that would have helped anyway, because I think Bivol, he was just automatically like a bad style matchup, because you could talk all your shit in the ring, but if you can't back it up in the ring, that just shows that you were never that good to begin with. So that's why talk is cheap, like especially in the sport of boxing. But I just knew it from round one. Bivol was just automatically a bad style matchup for Canelo, and I think Canelo knew that, and he didn't want to take it to that level because he knew that if Bivol had more power with those shots, to which I think Bivol, he has good power, but he wasn't trying to knock out Canelo. He was just trying to come in there, do his job, and just basically get out and leave. And I think that's a really good mindset to come in, because like, why would you want to try knocking out somebody that is a drug cheat in the first place? And then on top of that, he's going to end up being dirty to you, if you try knocking him out. So I think Canelo knew that, and I think Bivol, he knew that. So Bivol was like, you know what? Like, I'm not really going to try to take any risk. Like take any risk against Canelo, because Canelo would have used that as fuel to utilize the mind game tricks against Dmitry Bivol. But Bivol, he fought a very, very intelligent fight. He beat the living shit out of Canelo, and I'm happy, man, because like if Bivol got a robbery loss, like against Canelo, I probably wouldn't even be going live, honestly. Like I'd probably just be saying, "Oh, congratulations, Canelo," blah blah blah. But we all know that you actually lost this fight and you were never that good to begin with, blah blah blah. Like that's why I think honestly, like the sport of boxing is only going to change when fans actually stick up together and say, you know what, fuck this corrupt judging, fuck these corrupt sanctioning bodies, and just like literally just start pushing the sport to become marketized in a league like the NBA. Because think about it, let's just talk about last night's game with the Warriors and Grizzlies. But let's just say if the Grizzlies were the favorited team, and let's just say all the fouls were being committed on the Warriors more than the Grizzlies, everybody would have like a problem up against that, because they know that the Warriors don't play like that to try to always go for fouls. They always try to go for making points. So if the Grizzlies were the politically favored team and the NBA wanted to corrupt it a certain type of way, where fans actually knew that the Grizzlies were not the better team and the Warriors were the better team in the first place, people would be calling robbery every single game, because they'd be like, yo, like, what the fuck is this? This is not what people want to pay to see. And people would just automatically stop watching the NBA. But the reason why the NBA is still the NBA is because people have control, aka the consumers or the fans that really do love the sport of basketball. And granted, there's some corruption in the NBA to the point where people do have some cheating allegations of some sort, but it's not that high compared to the sport of boxing, to the point where there's actually no accountability when a fighter does something stupid, like try to take peds or try to cheat you, or have have the referee in their pockets and just do all these crazy megalomaniac ideas, because it's like that doesn't really help the sport, and that makes more people pissed off up against you. And then eventually you're going to get people killed in the sport, whether if it's in the ring or outside of the ring. That's not helping the sport. So I say when that day finally comes where people actually do want the sport to be marketized better, to the point where there's actual marketized um, accountability and reputation, that's that's when boxing will get better. But I'm just happy that the boxing, elder gods came in and gave us what we want, where Bivol destroyed Canelo, and I'm happy for him, because Bivol, he did something that nobody would ever do, where you would come into the mindset knowing that you could beat Canelo, and you actually thought that the judges were going to be on your side. But Bivol didn't care about that. He just came in there and he just fought his heart out. And that's something that I have to give Bivol a lot of credit for, because you cannot tell me that Bivol is not a good fighter when he has all this major confidence coming into a fight where he knows he could very well get robbed, but yet he didn't care, because he came in with that mindset to know what was going to happen. And he proved it like he proved it in the ring. So I definitely give Bivol a lot of credit. Great job, great victory. And I don't know what Canelo does, because Canelo, he's not going to rematch Bivol. He knows that Bivol's a bad style matchup, and I don't see Canelo, staying at 175, because knowing that Triple G, he's basically next in line to fight Canelo. I think that's what's going to happen. Canelo's going to basically fight Triple G, and then after he whoops on Triple G's ass, he's probably going to end up facing. I don't even know, man. Like, I think honestly, Canelo, he should stay away from Bivol. But if you want to go back up to 175, you could fight Joe Smith Jr., but I don't see Joe Smith Jr. playing around with Canelo. And I think Joe Smith Jr., he's gonna take pages out of Bivol's book to try to beat Canelo. So I don't know, man. I think Canelo should just stay at 168. Fight Jamal Charlo, fight David Benavidez. Fight all these guys that people have been telling you for years that you've been avoiding. And then after that, just hang it up, man. Because I don't really see Canelo being such a good figure for boxing, anymore. Like, I used to like Canelo a lot back in high school, but ever since I got older and ever since I started looking at the sport and studying it, I knew Canelo was dirty. I knew ever since the Triple G fight, he was always a dirty piece of shit fighter. But now, leading up to this point, we all know Canelo's not that good. We all know his decline is there. He's not he's not that type of dude where he makes you think like, oh man, I'm the greatest in the world. Yeah, if you were the greatest in the world, you should not be fucking cheating, you piece of shit. You should not be fucking cheating and lying to your fucking fans to say, oh well, I can do whatever I want. I can fight Bivol. I can fight Artur Beterbiev. No, the fuck you can't, because they told you. Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you, Canelo? You're a piece of shit white Mexican that doesn't even rep for your own people. You are more fucking American than you are Mexican. Hands down. Canelo does not give back to his people. He talks more with fucking black people in America or white American Mexicans. That's pretty much it. That's it. I'm sorry, but guess what? Canelo knows he's not that type of dude to actually be true to his own people. If he was, he would actually listen to his audience, actually listen to his audience and actually fight the best and actually make a difference. But knowing that Canelo, he doesn't have that confidence, that confidence in him. He's not confident enough to fight the best to the point where he can't solidify legacy all the way, because knowing that he is willing to take less money to fight a dangerous fight with Bivol, knowing that Bivol, he's not like the biggest puncher in the world, but he's a damn good ass supreme boxer. And knowing that you got exposed by Bivol, knowing that you could have easily fought Jamal Charlo, you could have fought David Benavidez, you could have fought Demetrius Andrade, you could have fought Errol Spence. You turned down the money with Spence when Spence said 5 years ago, man, I will go up to 160 to beat your ass. He'll go up to 160 when Spence was about to become champion to beat Kell Brook. Do you realize if Errol Spence went up to 160 and beat the shit out of Canelo and came right back down to 147 to unify for undisputed against Bud? Think about it. Think about it. He would have been the greatest in the fucking world. Errol Spence would have been the greatest fighter to do that to Canelo Alvarez and then go back down to 147 to beat up on Bud for undisputed? Bruh. Errol Spence would have had my fucking respect, because nobody would ever do that. Like, literally, you cannot tell me if you like that's like saying if Deontay Wilder went from heavyweight down to light heavyweight and he beat up on everybody at light heavyweight and then he went back up to heavyweight to become undisputed. That would be the same fucking thing. But that's what Canelo is not wanting to do. You are a 147 pounder that decided to duck all the smoke from 147 leading up to at least 168, maybe. I'll probably say, yeah, 168. But no, same thing with 175. you avoided all the best competition that you could have easily defeated if you had the balls to beat them, and you decided to just let it basically fall. You just let all the opportunities fall down like a stack of dominoes, and you don't have any confidence to ever even talk about these potential fights because you knew that you were going to lose these fights. Otherwise, you would have beat these guys. You could definitely beat Jamal Charlo if you had the skills to to do so. You could have beat David Benavidez if he was fresh off of his victory, beating Anthony Durrell. Right? He could have beat definitely a guy how should I say he could definitely beat guys shit I don't even know, man. Like I think honestly just to be like very consistent with it, Canelo could have beat everybody that we wanted him to fight, but Canelo chose not to do so because he knew that he saw something out of them that would make him exposed by them to the point where he knew he can lose these fights. So that's why Canelo, he doesn't have the confidence like he once did leading up to Floyd Mayweather, where he got his ass demolished, and therefore you don't see Canelo being great no more. You know, this is like the only fight where Canelo did not look actually how should I say, he didn't look motivated and he looked defeated the entire fucking fight when he fought Bivol. And knowing that Bivol, he came in with a chip on his shoulder to win this fight, knowing that he thought he could very well be robbed, Canelo knew he was not winning. And, after the fight, Canelo, he just pretty much said, oh, well, like I tried, like my best, but, Bivol, he's such a good fighter and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, just shut the fuck up, man. Shut your bitch ass up, man. You have nothing else good to say. You knew you lost the fight. Just move on and just say, I am not the best at what I did. He was the better fighter and just move it on. Canelo is like Manny Pacquiao, but just the more retarded version of him. He's going to make up any excuse to say why he lost because he knows he's not that good. Because if he actually was a true champion, he would give Bivol all the credit in the world to say, look, I did not fight my heart out like I usually do, but Bivol, he came out stronger, and I commend him for that. That would have been a way more better post-fight interview to say to credit Bivol, and then that will give you more focus and more confidence if you want to come back into 175 to, potentially become a champion once again. But I don't think Canelo is good stylistically against all the potential fighters at 175, and I think Canelo proved it in the ring. He's very stationary. He gets hit way too much. He doesn't move his head he doesn't move his head as often. He looks to be gassed out, by the middle rounds, and Canelo looks very predictable. I don't know if it's just his focus in the ring or he wastes a lot of punches early, so therefore he's not able to be successful. But honestly, I just never really thought, Canelo was Canelo was ever going to win that fight. But credit to Bivol, man. Bivol, he just beat the shit out of Canelo. That's definitely going down as the biggest upset victories in boxing history. Back to the chat. Tim Muzzy said, I used to ride with Canelo. I'm a white Mexican from the border, but once he got caught cheating, I lost all my respect. Yeah. I used to like Canelo too, as I was younger in the past. And, it just pissed me off that Canelo would just do something stupid like that to cheat against a guy like Triple G. It's if you really thought Triple G was going to knock you out and beat you, at least fight your heart out. You don't have to cheat and then basically, force, the first fight to become a draw, knowing that you arguably could have lost that fight. And then the same thing, without the second fight, a lot of people thought Triple G won both fights, out of those, two fights. That's why Canelo didn't want to give him the rematch after he beat Triple G, because he figured, okay, if I quote unquote beat Triple G the second time, but there was still controversy, in the second fight, from the first fight, then that pretty much should be, credited for a trilogy, right? But no, that wasn't to be true because Canelo basically was like, all right, after I quote unquote beated you, I'm gonna dip out and say fuck you because I'm not gonna want to fight you because I know that you could become a bad style matchup for me. So I think mentally Canelo knew he did he knew that he lost, but he didn't want to fight Triple G again, for the trilogy because he knew what was going to happen, in the trilogy between him and Triple G. But I just think Canelo has such a weird mindset after losing to Floyd Mayweather, where he doesn't want to lose again, and he doesn't want to he doesn't want to get exposed by pure boxers that actually have great ring IQ, and I think that's that's his biggest weakness. He cannot fuck with a pure boxer at the end of the day. He can't mess with a pure boxer that has high ring IQ and great punch placement. But salute to Bivol, man. Bivol just showed the ultimate blueprint to beating Canelo. Honestly, PBH Big Dog, salute to you. Thank you for coming by. PBH Big Dog said judges still try to give him that fight 115 to 113. Hell no, he got washed. Yeah, honestly, I had Bivol winning 10 rounds to 2 against Canelo. I didn't think that Canelo really won that fight to begin with. I actually thought Bivol could have arguably won 11 rounds to 1, honestly. Just simply because Canelo, he didn't show any separation in the fight itself, and he looked so fucking sloppy. He looked like a fucking old man on drugs, honestly, man. And it just felt bad because it's like I used to like Canelo a lot, and I was thinking like Canelo was gonna come out here and just wash Bivol because Canelo, he very well could have been juicing that fight, and knowing how the WBC is, they definitely would have, done something with that. But knowing that it was a WBA fight, I think it was just mainly due to the fact that Canelo, if he really did try to cheat Bivol, just to the point where he knew he can get away with it, I think that would have been like a much horrible look on him. But I don't think that really mattered to Bivol because Bivol was like, dude, you're not even hurting me. You're not even pushing me back. Bivol seemed to be the more bigger fighter, and he was just dominating him the entire fight. Carol Mars said, Bivol should get the bulk of cash if the rematch happens. Yeah. I think honestly, the second fight should be in Russia. I think the second fight should be in Russia so that way, Canelo, he can lose again. But on top of that, Bivol, he's not going to, come back to the States if he, if he's going to be offered the rematch, because quote unquote, he should be the A side over Canelo now that he beat, the all time favorite. So I think that should be fair for the rematch to say, hey, Bivol and Canelo should be fought out in Russia, and I think that would make a huge impact as far as what should happen for that fight. But I don't know, if the rematch happens, they should fight somewhere neutral. I think honestly they should fight at New York City. I actually wouldn't mind to see Canelo versus Bivol too in New York City. Definitely have it at the MSG. I'm definitely pulling up for that. I will definitely pull up to the MSG once again to see Bivol versus Canelo 2. But guess what? If they have it out in Russia or somewhere out, honestly, I would definitely keep the rematch away from Texas, keep it away from California, fuck California, and definitely keep it away from shit. I don't even know, man. You know, I wouldn't like I wouldn't mind seeing Canelo versus Bivol too in the States, but the problem is that you have to be careful with these judges, in America because the best judges will very, very well not be hired for the fight. It's probably going to be shitty judges, once again. But I think honestly, if Bivol wants to be the A side figure, he should definitely have the fight out in Russia. And Canelo, he'll have more pressure to to actually fight Bivol in his hometown, and he could actually be pressured in a real fight fighting Bivol. And I think Bivol would just demolish Canelo if the fight was in Russia. But I still think either way, Bivol, he's a bad style matchup, for Canelo, and I think Canelo, he should be tested more to a more foreign area where everything is basically held, up against them, honestly. But I don't know, man. Like I think honestly the fight should be held either in America, probably somewhere in Florida. I wouldn't mind somewhere down in Orlando. You know, probably have it at the Magic, stadium. You know, for the NBA, right? They could definitely play they could definitely fight at the Amway Center, or they could fight at the Miami Heat, stadium of the American Airlines stadium. I actually think that would be a good venue. But I mean, if they want to bring it back to Bivol's hometown, fight out in St. Petersburg, Russia, or maybe somewhere in Moscow. Like I think that would be a good venue as well. But yeah, like I don't know. Like I think the rematch should definitely be in Bivol's hometown. Tim Muzzy said it's funny because they charge everybody pay per view on his own card, and this was the fight that he took his loss. Oh yeah, definitely. Like I even asked like a shitload of Canelo fans leading up to the fight, are you guys going to pay for the pay per view? And a shitload of them said no, knowing that they actually thought Canelo was going to win this fight. So therefore, this is like a fight where, like it wasn't worth actually paying for it, knowing that you would still watch Canelo on a bootleg stream. Yeah, but that's just funny, man. It's just funny that Canelo got his ass whipped, and he got taught a fucking lesson, man. But nah, pay per view is definitely dead on DAZN. Because if you mean to tell me that you charge pay per view for one fight for Canelo, and you didn't charge pay per view for the other fights, that just shows that you guys were never like y'all were never that type of people to to actually fuck with Canelo. And I think Eddie Hearn, he just knew from the beginning that Canelo was gonna get his ass whipped. If he didn't come with any mindset to actually win the fight. So I mean, Bivol, he just showed pure class. He showed pure ring IQ. Honestly, that's really how you beat Canelo. You need to have extreme high ring IQ, because if you don't have that and you're trying to fight Canelo's fight, you're automatically losing. But nah, man. Honestly, just seeing that pay per view for fucking $60, I'm like, dude, you mean to tell me all the stupid Canelo Alvarez fans would be that dumb enough to pay for $60, but yet you be dumb enough for PBC to basically sell you Canelo versus Caleb Plant for $80, and then for some weird ass reason, Canelo and Caleb Plant do well over 800,000 pay per view, pay per view buys. Honestly, that doesn't make any sense, but it's just so funny because it's like Canelo knows he can't fucking sell. He would only sell if he's fighting guys that we want to see him fight. So I don't know how these pay per view numbers are gonna be when they come out, but if they do anywhere less than $100,000, 100,000 pay per view buys, then I'm definitely shitting on Canelo to say that he's not a big name in boxing. Because if you do that bad in pay per view numbers after getting your ass beat by Bivol, then I'm shitting on you, hands down. I'm definitely shitting on you. But PBH Big Dog said the zone pay per view is dead on arrival. Yeah. Tim Muzzy said too great. PBH Big Dog. Tim said, yeah, I agree. Keep it away from the West, maybe in the East. Yeah, I don't honestly I think it's fair for Bivol to say, look, I beat you in your hometown, because Canelo, he is more American than he is Mexican. Because if Canelo really wanted to have this fight, with any, potential advantage for him to win, he could have easily asked for this fight to be made down in Mexico. Because if he had the fight down in Mexico, he could have very well won that fight. But then again, Mexico doesn't bring any money, and I don't think the mass majority of people like him out there. And I don't think Canelo would really have that much support down there, to the point where if he were to lose the same way to Bivol from last night, all the Mexican fans would have been like hunting his ass down. But I don't know, man. I just think honestly, Canelo just did a cherry pick gone wrong experiment, and dude, Bivol just beat the shit out of him. I'm gonna rewatch, that whole fight after this live is over. But man, that was just funny, man. I was just laughing my ass off. I was saying F you Canelo Alvarez fans and fuck y'all, man. Pink Furry Goddess says Dmitry Bivol gave Canelo Alvarez a boxing lesson. Yeah, he did. Like honestly, the key to winning a boxing match is that you have to have a good jab, but on top of that, you need to have a very, very good high ring IQ. Because if you don't have either of those, you're gonna automatically lose. Because no matter how well you say that you're good at fighting a certain type of style, 9 times out of 10 you get beat. Like 9 times out of 10 you will very well get beat up very, very bad. Because if you don't have good defense and you don't have good ring generalship to actually control the fight and control the distance, then that's where fighters end up getting knocked out or getting, exposed by other pure boxer punchers or just pure boxers in general. Because the key to winning a fight is that you need to, land the more cleaner, effective shots where the judges can see you, like basically hurt the fighter or actually hit the fighter flush to the point where they could actually give you points, to win. But I just saw overall Canelo did not land that many good punches on Bivol. Bivol was just whipping his ass with that jab, and he made Canelo look like a fucking kid, man. He was beating the crap out of him like Canelo got his ass beat for stealing some candy at the candy shop. But I don't even know, man. It's just like Canelo's just garbage, dude. I don't like Canelo. And I mean, I used to love Canelo, back in the day, but now just looking at his deterioration and skill, he was just never that good to me, man. Like, honestly, like, if Canelo never cheated and he just fought all the best competition, I would definitely see Canelo's record be a lot more different. And I think Canelo, he knew that from the very beginning. Because if you really think about it, Canelo could have fought everybody at the welterweight division, and then let's just say if he got like a belt or two and maybe some losses here and there to like Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence or maybe Danny Garcia or Keith Thurman, that would be respectable. And then he would do the same thing at 154 where he could test his skills up there, and then if he's successful at 154 or maybe somewhat, then he could do the same thing at 160, once like 168, and then 175. So that's basically what I would have liked to see out of Canelo. Because if Canelo really wanted to be that guy from Mexico to be like their very first ever 4 division undisputed world champion, or at least two or three division world, 2 or 3 division undisputed world champion, that would be a very, very, shit. It would be a very memorable and credible resume for him, to do that, because he had the opportunity to do it, but he blew the opportunity because he was too afraid of losing again, the way he did to Floyd Mayweather. Because if Floyd Mayweather, arguably, well, let's just say if Floyd Mayweather lost to Canelo, Canelo would have had the Canelo would have had the ultra confidence to be considered the biggest man in boxing, or quote unquote the baddest man on earth, right? Compared to Mike Tyson. But that's basically what people would say about Canelo if he had beat Floyd Mayweather. But knowing that he didn't, that's where Canelo had his mental, like he had his mental confidence go down a lot lower, to the point where he can't fuck with all the top guys, because he knew ever since losing to Floyd, he doesn't want to be put in that position anymore. So that's why Canelo did what he had to do, where he had to come in there with opponents that he knew he could beat, that were tailor made for him. And that's how Canelo was able to end up winning his fights. So either way, I give Bivol a lot of credit. I don't know what's next for Canelo. I think he's gonna probably just keep his ass down at 168. I think that's really what Canelo should very well end up doing. And yeah, man, I don't know. I think Bivol, he's gonna wait for the winner of Artur Beterbiev and Joe Smith Jr. I'm definitely going to that fight. I'm gonna go to that fight, and probably Edgar Berlanga versus Alexis Angulo. So Yeah, just be sure to like just be sure to keep you just keep everything updated on here with the notifications when I make any videos about it, and I'll keep you guys updated with any fights that are coming up, and like if I am going to a fight, I will give you guys that update. So yeah, that's about it. Salute to the mighty LDBC, and happy Cinco de Bivol Mayo, aka Dmitry Bivol, the undisputed victor against Canelo Alvarez. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Long live Mexico, long live Russia, and I'll see you guys around. Oh, and shout out to Jeffrey Lopez. Didn't see you here. Yep. Thank you for doing the good promotion here. And yeah, I can't wait, bruh. I can't wait. And Pink Fairy Goddess said we still have Jamal Charlo versus Sulecki, and Gervonta Davis and Rolly Romero coming soon. Hell yeah, man! I can't wait for those fights. I think Tank is gonna brutally knock out Rolly, and I'm not so sure about Sulecki and Charlo. I think Charlo is gonna knock him out too. But either way, uh, this is a damn good live. I wish I had more people on here, so that way we could all chop it up. But it's all good, man. Like I always like talking, post fight lives, by myself. So yeah, yeah, that was a good ass night of boxing. But salute to you, Mo Boxing, and thank you for coming by, knowing that I'm about to wrap everything up. But yo, man, yeah, last night was crazy, man. I was like beyond shocked, but I mean, I really wasn't because I thought Canelo was gonna win by robbery, but I'm just happy Bivol won, man. I'm very fucking happy Bivol won, and that was just a good win by the boxing gods. So the boxing elder gods win again. But I definitely got to come back on here for Jermel Charlo and Brian Castaño too. I'm probably gonna make a live about that on the night of the fight. So yeah, be sure to check me out on that. I'm probably gonna go crazy for that. Oh, and also shout out to Jerron Boots Ennis. He'll be the co-main event. Yeah, I can't wait for my boy Boots. Boots and Custio Clayton co-main event down in Carson, California. That's gonna be a good ass fight, by the way. So be sure to tune in for Jerron Boots Ennis versus Custio Clayton. But yeah, Andrew Umaga, fight bums one day. You're going to trip mover one. Wait, what? Okay, I don't know what that means, but all right. I will see you guys later. Peace out, and salute to the mighty LDBC. And I am out, guys. I will be back on probably again next week, and then yeah, man, I'm just gonna continue grinding out the channel. Be sure to like, rate, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you guys want me to talk about. Oh, also for fighter ratings number 2, I will be having Shakur Stevenson as my second fighter ratings number 2, as you guys voted in the community page. So shout out to the brother, Mr. Shakur Bam Bam Stevenson. Yes, we are going to go live for that probably on Tuesday. So I'll keep you guys updated with that, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out. This is Kieran Rodriguez, aka KRAT7435. I'm signing out, and goodbye.